The seed that waited. In a quiet village between green hills, there was a small garden behind an old wooden house. The garden was simple but beautiful. In spring, colorful flowers covered the ground. In summer, butterflies danced between the plants. Birds often came to sing in the trees. The owner of the garden was an old man named Thomas. Thomas was not famous and he was not rich. But many people in the village knew him because of his peaceful garden. Every morning before the sun fully rose, Thomas walked slowly into the garden with a small metal watering can. He watered the flowers, touched the leaves, and cleaned the soil. Thomas believed something important about life. He believed that every plant had a story. Some plants grew very quickly. Others needed a long time. Some flowers bloomed for only a few days, while some trees lived for many years. But every plant had its own journey. One day in early spring, Thomas was cleaning a small wooden shelf in his house. On the shelf, he found a small paper bag. Inside the bag, there was a single seed. The seed looked small, dry, and very ordinary. Thomas looked at it for a long moment. He could not remember where it came from. Maybe someone gave it to him many years ago. Maybe the wind brought it inside the house. Maybe he bought it and forgot, but Thomas did not throw it away. He gently held the seed in his hand and smiled. Then he walked into the garden. He made a small hole in the soil near the center of the garden. The earth was soft and dark. Carefully, he placed the seed inside the hole and covered it with soil. Then he poured a little water over it. The soil became darker as it drank the water. Thomas looked at the place and quietly thought, "Every seed deserves a chance." Days passed. The sun warmed the garden and spring slowly filled the air with life. Small green leaves began appearing everywhere. The flowers started opening one by one like tiny colorful stars on the ground. The garden was becoming alive again. But the place where the small seed was planted stayed the same. There was only soil. Nothing grew. Thomas still watered the spot every morning. He never forgot it. Weeks passed. Many plants around the garden were already growing tall and strong. Some flowers were already blooming beautifully. But the small seeds showed no sign of life. One afternoon, two villagers came to visit the garden. They walked slowly between the flowers and looked around with admiration. "This garden is wonderful," one of them said. Then one man noticed the empty patch of soil. He pointed at it. "Why is this place empty?" he asked. Thomas calmly answered, "There is a seed there." The man laughed a little. "A seed? It looks like nothing is growing." Thomas simply smiled. "It may be growing where we cannot see." The villagers shook their heads slightly and continued walking through the garden. Another month passed. Rain came many times. The wind moved through the trees. The days became warmer as summer arrived. Still, nothing appeared from the soil. Some gardeners would stop watering. Some people would think the seed was dead. But Thomas continued his routine. Every morning he watered the same small spot. Every evening he checked the soil before going back inside the house. He never rushed. He never complained. He simply waited. One quiet morning, something very small happened. A tiny green leaf slowly pushed through the soil. It was so small that most people would not even notice it. But Thomas noticed. He stopped walking and carefully bent down. The tiny leaf was fragile and soft. It moved gently in the morning wind. Thomas felt a deep joy in his heart. The seed was alive. Day by day, the little plant grew. At first it was thin and weak. The wind could move it easily. But with sunlight, water, and time, it slowly became stronger. Summer passed slowly. The plant grew taller than the flowers around it. Its leaves became wider and stronger. People in the village began to notice it. Some of them remembered the empty soil from before. "Is that the seed that didn't grow?" someone asked one day. Thomas nodded with a quiet smile. The plant continued growing through autumn. Its roots grew deep into the earth. Its trunk became thicker and stronger. Even when winter came and the garden looked quiet and cold, the young tree stayed alive. Snow sometimes covered the ground, but the tree waited patiently for spring again. Years passed. The small plant slowly turned into a tall tree. Its branches reached high into the sky. Its leaves were bright green in spring and summer and golden in autumn. Birds began building nests in its branches. Children from the village liked sitting under its shade on hot summer days. Travelers sometimes stopped to rest under the tree. It became the most beautiful and peaceful place in the garden. One afternoon, a man visited the garden again. It was the same man who laughed years ago when the seed had not grown. He walked slowly toward the large tree. He looked up at the wide branches and moving leaves. "This tree is incredible," he said. Thomas stood beside him quietly. "Yes," he answered softly. The man looked surprised. "Was this the same seed you planted before?" Thomas nodded. "The one that didn't grow for many weeks?" "Yes." The man looked at the strong tree again. "I would have stopped watering it," he admitted. Thomas gently touched the tree's rough trunk. "Many people do," he said calmly. Then he looked around the garden and spoke slowly. "Some of the most beautiful things in life grow slowly. Sometimes they grow where we cannot see them. Sometimes nothing seems to happen for a long time. But that does not mean nothing is growing." The wind moved through the tree's leaves with a soft sound. The garden was peaceful and quiet, but the lesson was clear. Not everything that is silent is empty. Not everything that is slow is failing. And sometimes the greatest things in life begin as a small seed that simply needed patience.